Welcome to T.O.L Studios, and today in Lesson 10, we're just going to recapture what we just did in Lesson 9, and I'm going to kind of do what I've done in previous lessons. I believe it's Lesson maybe 3 and 4, but once you learn the patterns, then I start showing you like how you could take maybe like example 1 and make example 1 to go to example 4, or maybe example 4 to example 1. Example 4 to 3, and all the combinations we could do. So we're going to take like what we did in the last lesson, which would have been the combinations I did there, but I gave them names: example 8, example 9, 10, 11, and I went basically all the way to 16. So 8 through 16, if you're not familiar with those and they're like brand new, go back and watch lesson 9. That's where I show you those. Make sure you're familiar with those. But today I'm going to show you like how to take what I did in lesson 9, and the same thing, we could go back to example 1, example 2, example 3, 4, 5, 6, or example 7, and do these in different combinations. So like the first one I kind of wrote down here, if you took example 1, I'll still do the quarter notes on the hi-hat. Okay, so if we do example 1 once, then example 8 was the one I had you. I'm not going to talk about the combinations. Like I said, go back and review lesson 9. So I'm going to assume you know what I'm saying. But if I take example 8, it would have been and that's me just doing it again. So like 1. Okay, so if I take example 1, kick, snare, kick, then go to this 8, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, 1, snare, kick, snare, example 8, kick, snare, 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 kick. Oops, sorry, I put an extra one in there, but anyway, so let me do that again a little bit slower. So, but example 1, I'm just doing each one time. So I'll try to say it as I come back into it. Might sound funny when you hear me kind of counting and saying it, but so 1, example 1, then example 8 would be your, then example 1, then example 8. So now I'll say it. There's the 1, then number 8. Kick, snare, 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 kick. Okay, so that was again example 1 and example 8. For the next one, we're going to take example 2 and we'll take example 8. So I'll keep the same one on this back end. So example 2 would have been the, okay, and then example 8 would have been the one I was just doing, but that would have been your, with just basically the extra kick at the end. So if I play those together, and again, I'll kind of say like example 2, example 8 at first. So example 2 would be example 8, example 2, so kick, snare, 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 kick, 1, Sorry, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, so now the next one, what I'll do would be example 3, and I'll connect it to example 9. Example 3 would have been the one that we did originally going. Okay, so again, that's example 3. Okay, example 9 was going to be your. Okay, so I'll do that one again, example 9. I'll give you a few more of that one, example 9 again. And I'll do it one more time for you. Okay, and number 3 one more time. So do it this way too. Make sure you know both of them as you're trying to put them together. If you have to go back and play maybe like the first one a few more times by itself, then the second pattern you're trying to connect it to, and then try to put them together again. That'll help too as well. So one more time, number 9 would have been. Okay, and then if I do example 3. Okay, now that's the one I'm going to start with 3. So I'll say the same thing, 3 and then 9 when I switch examples. Number 3, number 9, number 3, number 9. I'll do it again, sorry. Okay, so let me try it again. Here's number 3. Okay, so, and then what I'm going to, again, I messed that up, so I apologize. Number 9 is going to be, so I don't mess you guys up. Sorry about that too. So kick, kick, snare, kick, snare. Now number 3, kick, snare, kick, snare. Okay, so we put those together. Kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. Kick, snare, 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 kick, snare. Okay, so just as you saw me struggle there for a minute too, yeah, just no big deal if that's what it is. Stop, just keep working on it. I always tell everybody at some point you're going to have a top out, meaning that's just the best you can get for that day. We'll talk about this later on in some lessons, like how to give you a good practice kind of schedule, how you can kind of take all these things I'm going to be showing you, because I've just been doing drum rhythms. We're going to get into the hand. Should have probably put that one first, but I like to get students playing rhythms, but we'll start doing some of the hand rudiments, so I can kind of explain those in a simpler way and give it a purpose as well too, but those will kind of relate into drum fills, and then we can spend time taking the drum fills and connecting it to your rhythms. So that's what we got kind of looking forward to as well. So okay, so let's take this one. Here's another one. We'll take example 3 again, but we'll go to example 10. So 3, okay, then 10, example 10 is going to be. Okay, so I'll do that one again, number 10. So if we do 3 first, number 10, number 3, number 10, kick, snare, 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 kick. Okay, so that was number 3 and number 10. If we take example 9 and example 3. So I did this one just so you realize too, you can obviously start with any of those new ones I showed you in example or lesson 9, and you can start with those and make those go to the old ones. Any order you want to do. Obviously listen to the drum beat, just make sure it flows together. But notice when you change that up, they almost sound like the same kind of drum part with just a little extra kick here and there. And that kind of helps the bass player, kind of helps him in his groove. We'll kind of explain this a little bit more later too, but just puts a little variety, but it doesn't stray too far away from like the original drum beat. So I'm going to kind of tell you that sometimes it almost sounds like a rhythmic fill that you're doing just between what we're already using, the hi-hat, snare, and the kick. And we haven't even used the toms yet. So fills aren't always just on the toms. You can do them with your foot as well too. And again, I'll show you this in an upcoming lesson as well. So I'm going to kind of stop on that one. I've got more to show you here. I'll pick them up in the next lesson, but you get my idea, hopefully, that you can pick any kind of combination you want to kind of go around. So I'm always big on, no matter what instrument I've played and practiced, to take something you learn and try to turn it into multiple lessons. And what you're really doing is just kind of really getting your brain to just think outside the box, like, this is what I learned, and how can all these other little things fit inside that? I tend to see things in shapes a lot, so kind of like I've got a rectangle and slice it down the corners and it turns into triangles and shapes inside shapes. So anyway, I won't get off on too big of a tangent there, but just how you can simplify your brain so you can kind of pick up what you're learning. So we'll pick up on a few more examples in the next one, and also realize I'm just doing it still with the quarter notes as I did earlier with exercises. Then we can start doing eighth notes with everything I've shown you, and I'll give you some examples of those. And then I also on previous lessons showed you, like if I'm doing example 1, okay, not only could we do the eighth notes eventually, and just the same, so I'm still doing but instead of doing, then I taught you how to do your, I did that again, sorry, meaning don't do that extra kick like I did, so I am still going kick, snare, but then eventually I start showing you how you could go and doing different things with extra snare hits. So everything I'm showing you here in these last couple lessons, in lesson 9 and 10, you can do the same thing. Do all those now with the eighth notes, and eventually start doing different combinations with your snares. So the whole purpose of my teaching is just kind of showing everyone how it is overwhelming. I mean, because there's a lot of possibilities, but if you can look at it in a simpler way and just realize that you learn a couple set things and then everything's just kind of gravitating around that, I think it just kind of helps us grasp what we're learning and just makes it simpler. So anyway, have some fun, digest this all in, stop, again, go back, review old lessons, stay on this lesson review. Definitely I'll look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Have some fun.